Thank you very much, dear Patrick. I am so grateful to you for driving relentlessly adaptation on the global agenda, and very, very impressed by the dedication to public service by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. You are using your star power from the days you were the Secretary General for good, and for this we are all very grateful. We have friends and colleagues here, too many to name individually. We just were with Faike celebrating his service to his company and to the world, with Ngozi and Akin working for the cause of Africa. And actually, President Tshisekedi was also part of that meeting. Today, we are gathered to tackle a problem that is really hard, a climate crisis resulting from mankind's centuries of working towards prosperity of people with all the good intentions, but also putting into action the law of unintended consequences, generating a risk to humanity that is far too big to be ignored. And our job is even harder because we are in the midst of another crisis, a pandemic that has not yet receded, holding the world economy back. But hard is not impossible. These are the exact words of a Dutch athlete, Sifan Hassan, who just ran in Tokyo 3 epic races, 1,500 meters, 3,000 meters, 10,000 meters. She got something that has never before, 2 gold medals and bronze. And that is an inspiration for us. We have also 3 races to run. The first race is to arrest and reverse the dangerous accumulation of CO2 emissions, of carbon emissions. We need it because the more we mitigate, the less we have to adapt. And we need it because it is a transformative force for our economies if we are to win. At the IMF, we have one big idea. You called us on big ideas. I will give you 3 for each one of my races, our races. On carbon, it is very straightforward. We would not succeed to arrest and reverse accumulation of carbon emissions unless we put a price on carbon. And we get this price to go up to the level that encourages transformation on scale and with the speed that is necessary. We believe that from $3 a ton, where we are today globally, we have to get to $75 a ton by 2030. And our big idea is to have an international carbon price floor for big emitters that makes it possible to accelerate action globally. The second race is the race to adapt to a changing climate. As Patrick so clearly stated, and also Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, the climate train has left the station. We are already at the point when adaptation is unavoidable, and it is actually a must for us and for our economies. Our big idea at the fund is actually very simple, and it is to mandate integrating adaptation in our annual consultations, our annual engagements with countries that are vulnerable to climate risks. So what we are now, we have gotten the backing of our shareholders. We are now including climate adaptation mandatory in countries that are vulnerable. And that translates into clear development and policy advice to accelerate adaptation. And the third race to win is the one President Tshisekedi spoke about, the dangerous divergence in economic fortunes between rich and poor in countries and across the globe. That race, to my mind, is the most important to win, because only then we will come together as people to fight the climate crisis. And it requires for the wealthy countries to fulfill their pledge of the $100 billion a year. It requires adaptation to be put on equal footing with mitigation as we fund action. And it requires all of us to do our part. President Tshisekedi spoke about the 650 billion with B. I think the interpreter just couldn't swallow a figure so big. $650 billion special drawing rights. And he rightly said that the share of Africa is only 31 billion. Our big idea is to get the wealthy countries that are getting these special drawing rights but don't really need them for their reserves to own land for the big purpose of sustainability. We are proposing the creation of resilience and sustainability trust, and we very much hope to come to Glasgow answering the call of President Tshisekedi and other leaders for a just transition supported also by the IMF. I can humbly say that there is no greater honor for any one of us but to do all we can for our planet to be a good home for our children in the future. Thank you.